The call. The phone rang from an unfamiliar number. On the other end, my daughter's voice cracked through sobs. "Mom, I don't have my passport," she whispered, her words broken by panic. "They left me. They just left me." I didn't ask who. I already knew. This was supposed to be a family trip. My parents, my brother, his polished wife, their 2 children, and my daughter Aaliyah, 18, wide-eyed, excited, her first time traveling outside the country. She trusted them because I had raised her to believe that family meant safety, that blood ties had weight. That was my mistake. They flew her into a country marked red on the State Department's warnings. Unrest in the streets, roadblocks, whispers of foreign detentions. I begged her not to go. But my pleas lost against the shine of promises, adventure, bonding, belonging. When she called me that night, I already knew what had happened. Her last text to me had said, "We're going to the bazaar. Don't worry if I don't reply for a bit." It was sent at 3:08 p.m. At 9:31 p.m., my nephew uploaded a video. He and his sister were shrieking with laughter on an airplane, 5 empty seats behind them. Aaliyah's backpack sat on the floor beneath their feet like discarded luggage. His caption read, "She freaked out." You should have seen her face. Holding steady, I didn't allow myself to panic. Instead, I acted, wired Aaliyah emergency funds, contacted a friend of a friend through an NGO, got her safe lodging and onto the embassy's radar. All the while, I kept my voice steady on the phone. "Just breathe, baby. You're not lost. You're only misplaced. I've got you." She didn't ask me to fix it, but she didn't need to. She's my daughter, and I do not forgive abandonment. Old wounds. The sting wasn't new. When I was 16, I missed a flight. My father left me behind at the airport, saying it would teach me responsibility. When my brother crashed my car years later, they said it was my fault for leaving the keys out. When Aaliyah was born, they called her an interruption, proof of my bad choices. They never liked that I raised her on my own, without their rules, without their approval. And so, when they wanted to wound me, they chose the sharpest knife, the evidence. 4 days later, they returned, tanned, smug, carrying duty-free bags and stories of beaches. They didn't know I'd already gathered my arsenal. I had. Airline CCTV footage showing them boarding without her. Screenshots of my niece's deleted group chats. The tour guide's testimony. They told me she was a burden. Every step documented. Every time stamped. I didn't scream. I didn't confront. I waited. The moves. While they slept off their jet lag, I made 3 quiet moves. 1, the school board. My nephew had just been admitted to a prestigious international prep. I sent the school his laughing video, framing it as a bullying incident that endangered a female minor. I also copied a few journalists. By accident, of course. 2, the embassy. Aaliyah had been a legal minor at the time of departure. I forwarded proof. The embassy filed an endangerment report. My brother and his wife were flagged. Their travel privileges frozen until further notice. 3, the hotel tip. One of the hotels they'd stayed at had ties to a known trafficking ring. Coincidence? Probably. But when I forwarded the footage anonymously, it triggered an internal investigation. At dawn, hotel security stormed their door. Not police, private enforcers. In that part of the world, paperwork doesn't save you when you've lied on forms and tried to dodge taxes. My niece screamed. My nephew cried. And the whole time, their own laughter lived on in digital proof. The collapse hours later, Aaliyah called me. "Mom, why are they suddenly messaging me?" I smiled. "Because, sweetheart, they just remembered you exist." In the weeks that followed, their polished image unraveled. The prep school withdrew my nephew's acceptance. My brother's company faced ethics reviews. My sister-in-law was removed from her embassy auxiliary board. Too much bad press, too much liability, and I never once stepped into the spotlight. Their own footprints devoured them. The return Aaliyah came home 2 weeks later, quieter, steadier, with new steel in her eyes. She sat across from me at the kitchen table and said simply, "I know what they did." I nodded. "And they won't do it again." Sometimes revenge isn't loud. Sometimes it's silence. The silence of a storm gathering strength, then turning the wind exactly where you want it to blow. They gave my daughter abandonment. I gave them consequence.